I'm going to try to make an American flag today. I did draw up some plans. Those are in the description. I've got a 2x6. It's nice and warped. And a piece of 1x12 that I've had for a long time. And it's got a little bow in it as well. So let's start by cutting this down.
So these will be cut at 28 1/2 inch. I'm just going to run these through the joiner just to kind of square them up. And once I had a square edge, I trimmed off the rounded edge, flipped them over, and now I'm cutting these at 3/4 of 1 inch. The thickness of my stripes. Trim some of those down to 16 1/2. You're going to need 13 stripes, 7 short ones and 6 long ones. So I need to rip these stripes down to their actual width, and I'm cutting that red chalk off that I marked. That's my unsquare side. You'll definitely want to take your time here and get this width as close to the plans or your plans that you have. But you definitely want all your stripes to be the same width. You'll notice I'm using a square to try to keep this all aligned. I'm going to just go ahead and mark the union here on the edges and just cut them to that size. I think they're actually a little off from my plans, but that's okay. That's why I waited to cut this part. I'm going to start rounding the end grain first, and then on all the stripes and the union, I'm going to just put a 1/4 inch roundover on everything on the face side only. Let's move on to that star pattern. I'm going to cut this out, and then I'm going to tape it onto my wooden piece. And I'm just taping on the edges here.
So you could cut all these out and paint them. I'm going with a 1-inch wood star, which fits pretty darn close to my template. I actually made the template, the designs around these stars, which I got at the craft store. Little wood star, I'm sure they're on the internet somewhere. I'm going to center punch every one of these. The stars that I drew on the pattern, I also included the center. And I'll just kind of do this. So at this point, I'm going to write top on the back so that I know which way I had them orientated. It shouldn't matter, honestly. The template should work well both ways, but I just want this so that I can take little pieces of tape and stick on these. Tape that's not bigger than my stars. What I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this. I'm going to paint these white, paint this blue, and then I'm going to peel all these little pieces off, and that'll give me something to glue to. Or you could probably just paint it and use a different type of glue. I'm going to use wood glue. So, alright, let's paint all this stuff up.
I would like to note that my red, white, and blue are not like official colors. They're just local spray paint colors that I had.
Didn't I tell you to leave? Damn, dude.
And this is a camera mounted to a spray can. Alright, let's clean that lens. Back into the shop we go for the glue up. If I had to do this glue up again, I would have included the star pattern in the initial glue up. Just glued it all up together. I did run into a few problems this way, but it ended up working out. Here I'm just gluing the stripes, and then later I glue the stars, and I should have done it all together.
I've gave this a couple hours to dry. Let's get these clamps off. Got two bare edges that I taped off. I'm going to glue those onto there.
So to put these stars on, I took a piece of scrap from the stripes. It's the same thickness as the stripe. I marked it with 1-inch increments. I can then line that up with the center marks for the stars that are going to go just below it. I also used a speed square to keep this straight. I then centered the bottom of the star to those marks. So for the last 2 rows I had to improvise. I used that star pattern and I cut it directly across the centers of the first row of stars, and then I lined those centers up with the bottom row of center punches that I had originally made on the union. That more or less continued my pattern so I could use the same method. The very last row, however, the pattern was in the way, so I just gently moved it out of the way after I had my little marker gauge set.
Well, thanks for sticking around, guys. There's one wooden US flag. I've also included the SketchUp file in the description below in case you want to resize this. If you do use the star pattern that I made, I recommend printing that PDF out at actual size. Alright, until next time, we'll see you guys later.